in the bedroom crying and whimpering, and your mommy came in and said, "What's wrong with the mom to my cousin?" And they turn on the light and it's a shirt hanging the wrong way. You remember, because fear got a hold of your brain and it flipped off your intellect, and you started living by the emotion, and it gave something a big shadow, and it was this big. Jesus has a solution for our worry. Seek first the kingdom, and all this stuff will sort itself out. That's the Tom paraphrase. And you're going to see a lot of this word, therefore. Therefore means because this over here is true, do this. Do not worry. Listen, do you need to be concerned? Yes. Do you need to be worried? Do I need to be worried? No. Don't need to be, but we can choose to be. We can choose to be, or we can choose to say, I'm going to focus on the kingdom. And if you and I and every other church person, if we focused on the kingdom, a lot of the stuff we worry about and fret about, which we really don't know the answer to, would just go away. If we would seek the kingdom. This is from Romans 8. People love this verse. If God is for us, who could be against us? If God is my lineman blocking for me, even I could score a touchdown. That's what that kind of says. But wait, the first part of the verse says, what shall we say in response? But response to what? You can't just take the verse and make it say what you want it to say. You got to say, what does it really say? So in response to what? Well, it's in response to verse 18. I considered all these things, my present sufferings, my current situations, are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. What I'm going through today really isn't worth being overconsumed compared to who I'm going to be someday. This isn't that big a deal. See, you and I have short memories. This is the worst week of my life. Why? No, I'm just telling you, it's the worst week of my life. Why? Well, because... Well, you remember that time that did... Oh, yeah, that was a bad week, too. Well, what about that time that did... Oh, that was a really bad week. We live in such the moment, the present, that we forget how bad it was just even last month or last year or 10 years ago. And we go through momentary, temporary situations that, if we allow to consume us, can absolutely derail us. They can derail marriages, it can derail your business, it can derail your career, your health, all because for a moment, one of the best definitions of suicide, a permanent solution to a temporary problem. A permanent solution to a temporary problem. Wow. Boy, that's us though. Things are so bad. I'll never get over this. I'm never going to survive this. Oh, yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Keep breathing, keep eating, you'll survive. We all have. Well, I just don't know how it could ever be any worse than this. Oh, come on. Are you kidding? We could go to the other side of the world and just let you try to go to church in China, for example. Hey, we'd all be in trouble. Something just that simple. There were about, I don't know how long ago now, maybe 19 years ago, my wife and I, we lived in Michigan. We had come to Pensacola for Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving Day, every so many years, is on Sherry's birthday, like it was this year. And we were at her mom and dad's house, and it's her birthday and Thanksgiving, and we are 1,000 miles from home with her parents. And Sherry walks into the kitchen and says, I'm pregnant. To her parents, first grandchild, on Thanksgiving, on your birthday. This is like a Hallmark card moment. Right? Couldn't have been any better. Pawpaw's crying, Grandma crying, everybody crying, you know. And about 6 weeks later, just like today, Christmas Sunday, I had taught Sunday school with my youth group and had about 15 minutes from 10:30 to 10:45 to get ready for big church, we called it. And during that window of 15 minutes, Sherry was on her way back from the doctor, called me from a payphone and said they didn't find a heartbeat. So I went from 6 weeks of elation to absolute bottom. And I had to walk out within a few minutes later and lead, joy to the world, the Lord has come. I led my little singing, and I went to the house, and Sherry met me at the house, and we laid in bed all day and just bawled and bawled and bawled. I didn't think that the pain would ever go away. But it did. Makes me appreciate my kids more. Because we went through that twice. Makes me a lot more sensitive to people who are having difficulty having babies. Absolutely changed the way I look at Mother's Day as a pastor and the things that I say and do. I didn't think it'd ever go away. But it's amazing how your heart is resilient, and God will allow you to heal. And it's not coded, it's healed. He didn't change our circumstance, but he sure changed me. He changed me. So what's the point? Because we know that everything works for good. Everything? Everything. If you stick with it and allow God to go to work on you, you will be better in the end. I'm not saying it's all going to go away. I'm not saying it's not going to hurt. What I am going to say is there will come a day when it's all going to be better. In Corinthians, it says the things we go through them so that in time we might comfort one another. Listen, we've had numerous conversations with couples trying to have children because we walked that road. We went through all those tests before we figured it out. It was amazing. Would have never happened, though, if I would have had the pain. So would have I ever wished for the pain? No. But would I have wished to be who I am today in terms of those types of issues? Absolutely. And unfortunately, sometimes to get who God needs us to be, there's a little bit of pain involved. Everything can work for your good. Everything. Look what it says right after that. Who will separate us from the love of Christ? Now, who would be not from the Grinch and not from Whoville? Who would be a person, right? We all agree it's a pronoun, person. Who would? Well, then it lists these things. These things are pretty rough. Trouble, hardship, persecution, famine, nakedness, danger, or sword. And if you combine one or more of those, it gets really dangerous. It's written, this is written from the Old Testament, for your sake, God, we face death all day long. I don't want to live like that, but that's what they went through. But in all of these things, you see this list here is all things. Those aren't people. In all of these things, we are more than conquerors. That doesn't mean you just win. You're more than win. You get to win and brag about it. Okay? You are more than a conqueror in all these things. So the question is, who is who? And I got news for you. You is who? You're it. You can separate yourself from the love of Christ. You can choose, I don't want that. You can choose Jesus, wonderful Messiah, Savior, not for me. You can separate yourself from the love of God. And you can learn to spell God either G-O-D or spell it E-G-O. Either way, one of them is God. Either you're God or He is God. You can separate yourself from the love of God. I don't know why you'd want to do that when you can be more than a conqueror. But God's love is for every situation that you face. I am convinced, either death, life, angels, demons, present or future, or any other power will do what? Nothing, whether it's high or low or any other creation, nothing can separate mankind from the love of God except the choice to serve me. To serve me. Nothing can separate me from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus. That little baby that came that day, you have the choice to say, that baby was born for me. Or to say, not for me. You choose. The Lord my shepherd. He doesn't care for me. This Jesus? No way. David described him as a shepherd. So I don't need anything else. Well, why? Because I'm satisfied. The best of Jesus is far better than the best of anything else all added up. The Living Bible says, in the shepherd I have everything that I need. I'm satisfied. He makes me lie down in green pastures. What does that mean?